Hey everybody, this is Amanda Davis, owner and founder of Business Solutions by Design, your accounting ally, coming to talk to you this week in October about all things scary. And I don't know about you, but I don't know what's more scary than the F word, fraud. And there's lots of fraud that happens to both businesses and individuals, and they target classes, types, so many things. And so we'll start off, I use a lot of technology with our practice, and a lot of people have come to me and said, look, Amanda, what's the security look like on this? And they just really have some trouble understanding it. And it just comes down to when, not if. So if you're having concerns about allowing your financial information to be out there in the world, quite frankly, your employers are being hacked. So they probably already have your stuff, if they don't already, or they will. The IRS is being hacked. Everything's being hacked. So your information is out there whether you put it out there or not. And so the best way I find in this situation to deal with that is to say, okay, I can't prevent it. There's things I can do to protect myself, obviously, but I can't prevent it, maybe. So what I can do is I can put some checks in place so that I can do something about it if it does, when it does, that kind of stuff, right? And you're gonna get that call from Microsoft or Social Security, or you're gonna get that email extorting you for porn. That one was fun, by the way, or whatever it could be. You may not be specifically ripped off in terms of the word, you think fraud, but there's lots of way fraud occurs in this world. So go get yourself Legal Shield or something similar where you have actual monitoring, where you have a company who will go and fight for you and go do things so that you can, A, know that it's happening right away, because that's key, and then B, do something about it. So go do that. Then go sleep like a baby, because then you have done something about it and you don't have to sit there worrying about all these unknowns, okay? So hopefully that kind of rests your mind a little bit. But there's a lot of ways that businesses can be scammed from, not only with all the technology, the emails, God, how many DocuSigns and legal contracts and invoices I've received as an accountant. We are heavily targeted. And so we just in place have a policy that if I don't know you and I'm not expecting something from you, I'm not clicking on that. If I know you and I'm not expecting something from you, then I'm going to talk to you about it before I click on it. So that's just what we're going to do. It's going to, provide some more red tape and some obstacles, but that keeps everybody else's security, and it also prevents loss of time and money in our business trying to go back, oh crap, now somebody got access to us and we got to do all these steps and we got to stop everything over here to go fix this. And so we're trying to kind of mitigate that as best as possible. So, and when it comes with us, I will tell you specifically not to send anything over email that has any secure information. We will upload it to a secure web portal, and quite frankly, we will separate out, logins from passwords or whatever it is. So we take extra steps to try to make sure our clients' information doesn't just easily live out where people can go grab it. We always work in a secure location where people can't see what we're doing, our screens. So we're not out in Starbucks on a free Wi-Fi that anybody can just get access to our machine and anybody walking by can look at. That's not what we're doing. We have to be at a secure location with private, secure internet so that we can do our job correctly. So that's another thing that we do. Fun. Fraud is everywhere. But what are the things, how can you be defrauded? Cash is easy. So if you're a cash business, you really need to make sure you have some controls and monitoring in place, because it's super easy for that cash before it to get recorded to get taken. So try to pay attention when it comes to cash. Put your nose in there. Trusted employees, key people, partners, that kind of stuff. The 20-year-old grandma that you've been working with forever, she's adorable, but if her grandson got in a motorcycle accident and maybe her house was on the brink of repossession or whatever. There's kind of opportunity, need, and with your relationship, well, heck, you'd have given her the money anyway, or whomever that person would be. Those are the people that you actually have to worry about more than people you don't know or you don't trust. So, you know, it's good to work with people you like and you trust, but you still need to have controls and monitoring in place to ensure that you're not allowing that opportunity to just hang out there, you know, make it a little harder for people. As far as I'm concerned, if somebody's going to steal from me, I mean, they better earn that. I'm not just going to leave it out on the street for them to take. They better be able to get over some obstacles, because, you know, you can't keep everything out, you can't prevent everything, but you can take steps in place to protect yourself a little bit. The online stuff you all know about, stuff with payroll. If you have employees, you may not think about this, and if you're an employee yourself, you may know somebody who's done this. But padding your hours or completely making up your timesheets, you're stealing money from the company by doing that. You just are. And people are like, oh no, it's just 25 minutes or 15 minutes. You know, that costs money and it adds up, and if everybody's doing it. So those are some things that can happen. There's other more sophisticated things that could happen, but typically if you have what's called a separation of duties, somebody who can't do everything to get access to it. So if somebody has access to the cash, another person has access to recording the cash, and then another person has access to reconciling it. So all three have to collude, that's the fun word, right? In order for the fraud to be committed properly without anybody knowing about it. You have to have three people working together or more, that kind of thing. But if one person takes the checks, puts it in the books, and takes it to the bank and reconciles the accounts later, if they took 20 bucks, they can easily do it without you ever knowing they did it, you know? So those kind of things. And there's ways with the technology, if you're a smaller company, if you don't have a lot of people to be able to separate those out, there are ways that you can do that with technology with a smaller office. So there are some options there. You can contact us if you have any questions. But one of the things I read online, it was kind of interesting, hidden fees. Getting you into a contract, oh, it's just this or it's just that, you know, it's this much a month, and then you get into it and you've got like a page and a half of crazy fees, and you're like, well, what is this? And I was talking to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, or last week, I can't remember. Whenever we were talking about this, where he reviews his bills, like with his telephone company or his cable company, to make sure that he understands every line item, and he does this every month. And you may not have that kind of time to dedicate to reviewing all of those fees that would normally make a rational human not very happy going through. And if they're charging you for equipment that you returned, right, or whatever, you could be paying for something you're not getting. And I'm sure in many cases that is unintended. However, I think it can be used against you. And if it's happening, it doesn't matter whether the company was trying to pull something or whether it was a legitimate error. It's still happening. It's still something you're not getting any benefit for, and money doesn't just grow on trees out here. If it did, then we'd all be, you know, planting lots of trees and living in tree houses, right? So paying attention to those kind of things and making sure you really understand what's going on with those type of things, I thought that was fun. Hidden fees, getting you into a contract, so you don't really understand the actual cost of what you're paying for, or to get you to pay for something maybe that you aren't receiving benefit for. So those are kind of interesting. So I'd love to see some of the fraud that you've heard of or seen in your business. Tell us your story, drop us a line below, or contact us, reach out directly. But for now, this is Amanda Davis, owner and founder of Business Solutions by Design, your accounting ally, and we'll be talking to you next week.